Hello.
Hello. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic.
So this is Laura
Hello.
and I'm me. And we've asked you guys to send us some questions that we can put to the angels and see what kind of advice they give. And one question that jumped out was about love and about finding love, and particularly when you're in your 50s. And I guess we are going to ask them to really apply it to any age because there's obviously lots of people, all different ages, looking for love because it's something that people tend to look for.
Mm.
So we're going to go for like, we'll obviously throw in the 50s thing, but it could be any age. So let's do it. So I'm going to ask them to speak through me and then off we go.
Amazing.
Off we go. Okay. Take a few seconds. Greetings, dearest ones. And we are delighted, as always, to have this opportunity to speak because it is not often that we actually get to use a human being in this way. And it's thrilling for us. It's like playing with a doll in a good way. We aim to please. We are obviously here to serve and delighted to serve. And it makes us feel full of love when we have these opportunities because we love you and we love to share our love with you. And we feel you, many of you, yearning for love and reaching out for it and actively trying to find it. And it is really because of your yearning that we respond and that we make as many attempts as we possibly can to find ways to communicate and to share with you. And primarily, we do this vibrationally. So we spend a lot of our time, which is not, it's a little different to your time, but we won't go into that right now. But we do spend a lot of our time beaming love to you because it lights us up. It is similar, perhaps, in a way, to the way in which many of you feel when you experience a small animal or a small child smiling or being affectionate. You begin to beam love to them and you feel love coming back. So it's a sort of a resonance. And we would be delighted to answer this question because it is a hugely important question. And it is not merely important for this lovely lady who has asked the question, but it is important for most of you. Yes, we sense that many of you watching or listening have this desire also to be loved and to experience the joy of love. And we understand that for many of you, you have perhaps some ideas about love and about what it means to be lovable and what it means to qualify for being loved and how you must perhaps adapt yourselves or change yourselves or improve yourselves in some way or present your best side in order to gain what you call love, but from our perspective, we see it more as approval that you're seeking, but it is not necessarily approval that is lasting. It is a sort of transient approval that perhaps you can have one day and not the next day. And so it is not an unconditional love. And we are perhaps more interested in helping you to find something more lasting, more stable, more unconditional. And so, as we have said, most of you have some ideas already about just how much you qualify for love. And many of them have been formed by your previous experiences, including but not limited to your childhood experiences and any experiences that you've accumulated in love relationships. All of these have added to the picture that you now have in your minds, but not just in your minds, for it is a vibrational picture just as much it is a mental picture. And so when we say to you, when we ask you the question, how do you feel about finding love? Many of you instantly become almost like shutters coming down, like you close, because there is this idea that uh, it's a anxiety inducing challenge for you, but it also has potential to be harmful, emotionally, mainly, but in other ways also harmful. Harmful to your self esteem, harmful to how much you value yourself. And so you are negotiating love, like walking on landmines, some of you. And so we would love to help you to have a more solid and more dependable source of love for yourselves that you can then use in your relationships with other people. And we would suggest that you, perhaps, if you wish, you may wish to make a list of the challenges that you feel are relevant to you in this area. It is not necessary, but for some of you, you may feel that it is important to name them. And once you've done this, we would ask that you immediately destroy it. Absolutely throw it away, get rid of it, delete it, uncreate it, tear it up, burn it, whatever you have to do, because it is not going to be in any way part of your new vibration. And your new vibration, we would like to begin programming by simply asking you to recall any experience, whether it is your own experience or whether it's someone else's, someone you've seen in a film, read about in a book, or seen in a magazine, or one of your friends, anyone you've ever seen, or from your own life, in a state of total bliss. So, any state, just bringing that to your mind and allowing yourself to revel in it, to absolutely delight in the joy of this experience, whatever it might be. And it might be something very, very simple. It might be something to do with nature. It might be something to do with animals. It might be really innocent and sweet. It might be a fairy story from your childhood. It might be something that your child said to you, or the smile of a child. Just something really so beautiful that it cannot possibly be in any way upsetting. Something just absolutely gloriously delightful for you. And just imagine it and let yourself feel it. And just allow yourself to completely immerse yourself in the feeling until it becomes your state of being. And the more that you do this, the more that you enjoy. So it's almost like you're programming joy, you're programming bliss into yourself. The more you do it, the more you will begin to be magnetic to it in every possible situation. So the joy that you experience in your life won't merely come from love relationships, and it won't merely come from meeting this partner that you seek, but it will also come from everything else that happens in your life. And you will be quite surprised by how much love and joy is potentially available to you. And so it is a little bit like a muscle that needs to be worked and strengthened until it becomes dominant in your energy field. And so, any moment that you have an opportunity to practice, you may be doing something else, you may be doing something mundane, you may be cleaning, you may be shopping, you may be cooking, you may be driving, or simply waiting for someone or waiting for something. There are many moments which are available to you, and you have this capacity, which is a wonderful capacity, to choose what it is you're going to think about in these moments. And this is something to practice, which will attune you to the frequency of love, which is actually your natural state. So, all the other things that you think about, they are more like the distractions that cause the disturbance that takes you away from your natural state. And if you are willing and able to simply allow your mind to take a break and take a hike and go on holidays and just let yourself be, you will notice that this love just sort of like erupts or appears magically as though it has come from nowhere, but it is your natural state. And you begin to be very simply in tune with this love vibration as you are now. And we are sharing with you some frequencies to help you to attune. And all you have to do is simply allow us to help you with this. And of course, you can call on us at any moment. We do not sleep, we do not take holidays, we are always available. And as you practice this and as you become more familiar with these delightful feelings, you will begin to notice that you are being inspired and you're being guided to the right actions at the right time and the right people and the right circumstances to bring more of this into your lives. And when you are perhaps second guessing yourselves, and when you are finding yourselves being drawn to situations which are not so pleasant, you will know by how you feel. So you will know, this doesn't feel so good. It doesn't feel like my bliss state. And when you're not feeling your bliss state, that's a moment to consider, is this perhaps not the right course of action? So perhaps this situation is not the right situation, or this person is not the right person. And so you will be able to navigate using this compass, which is your bliss state. So it's really very simple. It's almost as simple as pointing at north and knowing when you're not pointing at north. Um, we couldn't put it more simply, and we really hope that you will at least perhaps give it 10 minutes a day, just this bliss state, just tuning into it. And you will notice immediately that you become more magnetic to this loving vibration. And perhaps there's one more piece of advice that we'd love to add, and that is that when you feel triggered by the idea of love, it is useful to remember to be very kind and very gentle and very compassionate with yourself, and also with the people that you are having these interactions with. For all of you have this vulnerability. It is completely human to have this feeling of not being quite lovable enough. And we totally see it and we totally understand and sympathize. And we are here to help. And this is a delight for us to have this opportunity. And we do hope that it has been useful. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That's amazing.